Hello, welcome to Anita the Pedagogue channel. We will be looking at a biography of Wole Soyinka and the historical context of death and the king's horseman. Let's begin with the biography of Wole Soyinka. Akiwande Oluwole Soyinka was born in Ijebu Isara, near Akiokuta in western Nigeria, on July 13, 1934. His parents, who were from different Yoruba-speaking ethnic groups, were Christians, but other relatives observed African beliefs and deities. Nigeria was at the time a colony of Great Britain. Soyinka grew up, therefore, with exposure to both Yoruba and Western culture. At 20, he left Nigeria to attend the University of Leeds in England, a university with a strong drama program. After graduation, he joined London's Royal Court Theatre as a script reader and then a writer, and produced his first play, The Swamp Dwellers, there in 1959. The next year, Nigeria gained independence. Soyinka returned to his homeland, where the Arts Theatre in Ibadan had begun presenting plays by Nigerian playwrights on Nigerian themes for Nigerian audiences. Soyinka traveled throughout Nigeria, absorbing all he could of the Yoruba people's rich oral literature, graphic art, dance, and pageantry. He created plays incorporating traditional Yoruba dance, music, and proverbs with political messages about the need for Nigerians to break free from the influences of Western culture. His third play, A Dance of the Forests, 1960, is typical of Soyinka's early work in several ways. It deals with conflicts between African and colonial values. It is written in English but includes Yoruba materials. And his first productions feature Soyinka as author, producer, director, and performer. Let's look at the historical context. The historical context answers the question, how did this play come about? It begins right from before the independence of Nigeria. The Nigerians received their independence in 1960. They were colonized by the British. The effects of colonialism cut across many aspects, including the Western cultural influence and the suppression of the culture of Nigerians. Fast forward, Nigeria has suffered as a country after independence due to corrupt leaders. Soyinka, upon returning to Nigeria after his study and stay in England, boldly criticized the corrupt leadership of Nigeria and his fellow Nigerians. He was put on the wanted list, was arrested by the government for his open criticism of the government in 1965, but was later acquitted and discharged. In 1967, he was again detained for criticizing the government through his articles in the newspapers, and ended up spending 15 months in solitary confinement. This experience caused him pain due to how his fellow Nigerians, who are leaders, perpetrated injustices, especially to critics of their destructive and corruptive leadership, especially after the oppression they faced from colonialism. He focused on writing literature that no longer criticized the colonial masters, but rather the Nigerian political leaders and people. Death and the King's Horseman examines weaknesses in Nigerian society as a whole, caused by individuals forgetting their traditions, culture, and duty to themselves and each other. Wole Soyinka's play Death and the King's Horseman explores Western cultural influence on their colonies. It's focused on Nigeria based on a true story that happened in 1946 when British colonial authorities stopped the customary ritual suicide from taking place by a king's horseman. In Yoruba culture, people believe the community is more important than the individual. It was also their tradition for the first horseman to commit suicide after the king's death. When the realization of this tradition is prevented by the British colonial masters, the horseman's son, who had received a European education, commits suicide in place of his father. This story was recounted to Wole Soyinka in 1960 by Olivier and remained in his mind until 1974, when the play was triggered during his time at Churchill College, Cambridge. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Until I come your way again, keep learning, and be the best version of yourself.